The gospel is the screenplay to be played through the screen of our lives. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. We end up not too far from where we started to share the good news. This good news, I liken it to a screenplay. And I'm not a big movie creator guy. I had to do some homework to try to understand what a screenplay is. And basically a screenplay is, it's like a script. It's the script of a movie, the idea behind the characters and the plot and the issue and then the resolution and all that, right? In printed form. It's the play, if you will, that's now made into a movie, that play script. The gospel is like that. In this way, when we are dealing with it, or rather I should say when the gospel is dealing with us, this is kind of where it comes in. It's the screenplay. It's the story. It's the script to God's salvation. But He has decided that this script is to be revealed or played out in our lives. It's not just a thesis. It's not just something in a book, but the book is brought to life, not just by us believing it, but when we believe it personally, it changes how we live. So what ends up happening is what we believe becomes how we live. That's why it's interesting. And when you look at the word believe, you can always take some of those letters and say, believe. We be living what we believe. That's why when I read in Luke chapter 24, and when you see Jesus now, he has been raised from the grave by his Father. We find the screenplay that he was constantly prophesying. Now it's about to get played out. And it's played out in real time in people's lives. The first ones, it says, well, here they returned from the sepulcher and told all these things unto the 11, unto all the rest. Who are these? This they were, it was Mary Magdalene and Joanna and Mary, the mother of James, and other women that were with them, which told these things unto the apostles. This group, this small group, this women's ministry group, this real women's ministry group had an encounter. And they become the first ones where the screenplay of what God has promised and what Jesus has prophesied, now it's being played out in real time. They're actually acting out. They were there now and they see this scene where the sepulcher is empty and they're trying to process it personally. So what ends up happening is when they go to the guys, they go to the apostles and try to break it down to them, they're going to naturally share this through their own words, through their own experience, through what they saw, and plugging vocabulary and ideas and definitions that they have to help explain what they have seen. Now that was just their picture. So here it is. You've got them, but it doesn't stop there. They were the first, but when you keep reading in verses 11 to 12, when they were sharing their screenplay, right, they were telling their story, their gospel, right, what God had done for them and what they had seen, their words seemed to them as idle tales, and they believed them not. We don't want to believe in that. That's what they said, right? So Peter, he gets up, he runs into the sepulcher, and stooping down, he beheld the linen clothes laid by themselves, and departed, wondering in himself at which was come to pass. Up to that point, Peter only had to go by what Mary and the Mary crew had told him. But when he goes to the sepulcher, what happens? The screenplay, he reads it, and now he wonders within himself. What happens is objective. What happens cannot be changed. But now his experience becomes personal. It's not corporate, it's personal. He sees it for himself. So now the words are trying, the vocabulary, the definitions, his experience, his memories of Christ, all of these things are coming together to shape the objective truth of what has happened with Christ. But now Peter is going to say, not what Mary said, Peter is going to say what Peter saw, what Peter has experienced. And it's through him now, same story, same tomb, empty tomb, but now you're going to get Peter's testimony, where we just had Mary and the Mary's testimony. You see what's happening? Screenplay, different lives, same story, but now different storytellers. In Matthew chapter 24, this is why Jesus says, okay, did it with Mary, Okay, I did it with Mary, did it with Peter. Now I'm going to do it with you. You, I'm talking about us watching this video right now. Your name, fill in the blank. Now, this is where you and I, he's inviting us to the empty tomb. He's inviting us to the cross. Jesus is inviting us to look at his footprints. And now he says, but he that shall endure until the end. Looking at his footprints, looking at the cross, remembering that the tomb is empty. That's us. The same at the end shall be saved. No less than Mary and crew, no less than Peter, we will be saved if we endure, if we focus on Christ till the end. And here it is. And this gospel, the screenplay, the great screenplay of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all generations, and then shall the end come. It's good to know that the end does not come because of what someone is saying online, or the end is not going to come because of what's going to happen in the White House or at Vatican City or at the City of London for that matter. These are not the seats of authority that have the end say. It is the throne of God that has the end say of when the days end. And he has told us that this gospel will be preached for a witness. That's the screenplay in us that will let everybody know that Jesus is Lord of Lords and lets everybody know that God is love. This is our opportunity to let God live out what he's already loved on us. And I hope that this has been motivation, but also by the Spirit of God, preparation, power to recognize that as long as we just live out what God is loving in, we're going one step closer day by day to the last day. And we will see Jesus, the director, the creator of this screenplay, face to face.